This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
These 5 letters make all the difference in a real estate transaction. Hello, my name is Johnny Jennings. I am the host of the Made for More Living podcast, and we have Valary Jennings with us as well, who's also a real estate broker. Say hello, Val.
Hello.
So those 5 letters, what are those 5 all-important letters? Trust. Trust. That is what makes or breaks a real estate transaction. For example, Valary, when we were working with some friends and they were wanting to sell their home and then buy another home, but they were worried that they were going to be homeless, right?
Yeah, which I mean is very, very common. Everybody's in the same boat when they're selling a home and they want to either downsize or upsize or change their house location or whatever the case is, right?
Unless you're dead. Unless it's a trust thing, right?
Yeah. Every seller's like, well, where am I going to go? I'm not going to put my house up on the market until I find another house, right? And that's very logical. I understand that. But it comes back to what we were talking about, trust. There's all kinds of ways that we can protect you when you're putting your house up on the market to make sure that you're not in that homeless situation, right? Yeah. That's not our goal.
But if you don't trust the real estate agent, then it's really like, why are you working with that person? Like, why, if you trust them enough to begin the process with them, why do you not trust them enough to listen to them? So in this specific situation, they were not trusting us, right? Or to you, they were your clients. They were not trusting you. How many offers did they put in on homes?
Probably about 6 or 7 homes that we wrote, contingent upon them selling the house that they already owned, but they did not have it on the market yet. So these contingent offers were just falling flat on their face. The sellers of those homes were like, well, no, why would I accept your offer when your house isn't even listed? So now I have to wait for you to put it on the market, find a buyer, negotiate, get all the way through escrow. And, who knows, that may take 2 or 3 months down the line. And I'm not willing to wait that long, right?
Especially in today's market. And so they missed out on 6 or 7 homes. So that's another way to phrase it. Like, we wrote 6 or 7 contracts. That's the real estate agent's perspective. But from that buyer's perspective, they missed out on 6 or 7 homes. 6 or 7 homes that they loved, that they could see themselves moving into, that they could see spending years there, right? In the next 7 to 10 to 20 years of their life in this place. And they missed out 7 different times. Valerie, what happened though when they decided to trust you and put their home on the market?
Yeah, then, everything changed. So once the house was listed, the sellers of the homes that we were submitting offers on, they could see, oh, that is a beautiful home. They did upgrade it with all the sparkling pool, and look at all the showings that they've been getting on Zillow. They're looking at these things where they can actually, it's a tangible experience for the seller now. They're like, okay, yeah, I do feel comfortable moving forward with your offer, knowing what a great house you have and the fact that it will likely be in escrow here shortly. Sure enough, it did go pending. We got their offer accepted, first one out the gate after we put their house on the market.
Right. So they were unsuccessful, let's say 7 times. And
eighth
then the
time was the
8th
charm.
time they got in contract. See, isn't that incredible what trust will do though?
Yeah.
Like in a real estate transaction. Now compare that to another person we were helping with. We can never get past that trust hurdle. Like even though we worked with them, we helped them get pre-approved. We'd shown them countless homes. I think you were working with this individual for, what was it, like a year?
Yeah, almost a year. Maybe 9 or 10 months, something like that. It was definitely enough to get through a whole summer buying season and then some. Unfortunately, this buyer that I was working with just never really got over that hurdle of, not asking for advice from other places and not trying to make their own decisions based on whatever they Googled about certain things. And
that's a really good point. So we run into that a lot because you throw a rock, you hit 5 real estate agents, and so there's potentially 5 different people speaking into this person's life and giving them what they would do if they were in their situation or how they would handle things differently. And if you are listening to 5 different conflicting, stories or perspectives, it's really hard to make a decision. Like, what's the right decision for you? But so this person was getting information from other sources and not trusting the person who he was actually working with. Is that what you're saying?
Right. And it happens all the time, with somebody's parents. Obviously I'm not saying don't trust your parents, but
dads.
like,
gotta love dads.
The dads or the uncles, or like they bought a house once 10 or 15 years ago and then once more 10 years before that. So they've bought 2 homes in their house, in
their life, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And this is the person that they're looking to for advice, which, no offense, I'm sure it's great advice, but I sell 2 homes a week sometimes. It's like this, would you rather take advice from somebody who does this once a decade? But it is what it is. So people are going to look for advice in other places. And, unfortunately, the real estate agent is the one that you need to default back on and to put your trust in that person.
But it really goes back to trust. Like you trust your dad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we joke all the time, dads are deal killers because dad will come in with his tape measure and a screwdriver and a flashlight on inspection day. And it's like, oh no, here we go. Nothing's going to be good enough for his little princess.
Oh,
this is a new build, man. Come on. This is like, it's a new home.
Right.
But nope, it's not. It's never good enough. And so, but the daughter has her dad there, or the family has their relative there because of that trust.
Right.
And so if you're working with a real estate agent, let's finish it up with that other fellow.
Yeah. Putting a bow on that story, this was back in 2019, and I don't know if you've been following home prices since then, but prices have definitely gone up. And, unfortunately, that particular buyer is now feeling upset about being priced out of the market. And, I could have had $150,000 worth of appreciation in those homes if I had just listened to my agent and gotten my offer accepted on one of these homes back in 2019. So, potentially leaving a lot of money on the table too, with just not making it happen.
Not all stories have a happy ending in real estate.
Oh yeah, very true.
Yeah, it's not a Disney World.
No.
And so, but it really comes down to trusting your real estate agent. If you don't trust that agent, so there's a guy who who's a coach and mentor of mine. I try to have one coach per aspect of life. So if it has to do with family and counseling, like there's one group that I go to, like it's a husband and wife. They have experience in what they're talking about. They've lived it. They've been married like I think 50-ish years now. They've raised kids. Like they have that family thing locked in. I listen to them more than I listen to our parents, more than I listen to friends and family, because what happens is I start getting conflicting information. Then and then I start making my own decisions and making modifying the good advice. I start distorting it into something that is more palatable to me, something that I can deal with. Same thing with health. Like there's just one group I go to when it comes to health. When it comes to real estate, like are you getting advice from somebody who maybe should only be speaking about health, or should maybe only speaking about family, or are you getting real estate advice from somebody who knows all about real estate? And so if you're finding yourself not being successful in your home buying or your home selling journey, I would encourage you just to take a step back.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt. What?
And it's probably the same answer for both questions. If I am searching for a realtor, someone to represent me in purchasing my home or selling my home, what are the characteristics that I should look for in someone that I can trust? And on the other side, if I'm a realtor, how do I build trust with my new client?
Yeah, good questions. So, Val, do you have any input you want to share?
I mean, the first place you could start is just reviews, like a track record of success, right? Somebody who has not only other clients that they've worked with that really enjoyed working with them, but also, years of experience or, a team to back them up with lots of sales under their belt, not somebody who, is just kind of floating out there and has done one deal in the past. They may not, be the best person to work with.
When you're looking for realtors, it would be like interviewing for a position. You're the employer, you're hiring somebody. So when you're looking to hire a CPA or an attorney or a doctor, right? You're looking at what do the reviews say? If you're going out for dinner, for Pete's sake, you look at the reviews. Why would you not look at the reviews of the real estate agent who you're going to be working with? Okay. So that's the main thing. And then also just in that
So if you're a realtor and you're talking with a potential client, you would share with them, hey, here's how many homes I've sold. Here's how long I've been working in the industry. Here's the markets I've worked in. Here's some reviews from people I've worked with in the last 6 months. So kind of share that information so that they can understand. Because I don't know if all realtors do that. You know, it's like, how did you find me? Well, thanks. And that's great. How about, build that trust? Because down the road, they're going to have to trust you in those situations where you're writing those contracts and you want to build that trust. So establish that from the get-go. Hey, I know what I'm doing. Look at my track record. Look at my resume. Look at how many satisfied customers I have. I know what I'm doing. So you're going to be happy with the results I get you.
Yep. So if you're an agent, you want to have third-party sources. So think Trustpilot, think Yelp, think Google reviews, think Zillow reviews. Like you want third-party things that you can share with your clients that prove, hey, it's not just me. I didn't write up 5 reviews fictitiously and I'm sharing these with you. Like the client can go and see these independently of you. And then if you're a client, you want to be looking for those types of tells. So that's one way that you can interview. The other way is just to ask them specific questions. So I work a lot with sellers. And I'm always telling my potential clients, hey, if you're interviewing other people, you need to be asking the other agents you're interviewing a few questions. Questions like, what's your average days on market? What's your average sales price to list price? What's the average sales price to list price in my neighborhood? What's the average days on market in my neighborhood? Like there are certain questions you can ask. And if the agent starts fumbling or seems unsure, well, those are pretty basic questions. And if they can't handle that, then how are they going to handle negotiations? How are they going to handle marketing your property? And so just being armed with certain questions can also help.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. And this applies on when you're buying a home as well, too. Like we've been talking a lot about writing offers, and it's really common to sit down at the living room, or the kitchen table or wherever you're sitting with sellers and talk about your skill set and what I'm going to do for you and all that, but it's as a buyer, you should also be interviewing your agent as well. Say, hey, what are you going to do for me to make sure that this happens in the time frame that I need it? Or, what's your track record of success with getting buyers into homes? Like what I'm looking for.
That's the biggest problem that we see with agents and clients, like in terms of the trust factor. Like trust has not been built because, especially in the buyer situation, people haven't sat down and gone over, this is me, these are my qualifications, this is why I know what I'm going to do, this is our game plan. Like, what is it you're looking for in a home? So I understand exactly what it is you're looking for, the locations, the price range, the amenities. So that way we're all on the same page. If you don't have that initial consult, that initial conversation, then you're failing in building, you're leaving that opportunity up to chance to build trust. Whereas when you bake it into the system, when you bake it into the process, it really, I cannot tell you how much of a game changer that is in terms of an experience for the agent and the client. So if you're working with somebody and you haven't had that initial consultation, say, hey, you know what? I heard about this. Let's hit pause. Let's meet for coffee. Let's meet at the next home and just go over exactly what it is you provide, your qualifications, and let's go exactly over what I'm wanting in an agent.
And if a new agent is listening right now and they need help establishing that kind of resume or profile online where people can look at reviews, you guys can help them with that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, we specialize in that. We have programs where we bring agents on. We take them through an onboarding process where we teach them all about contracts, marketing, everything that we do. We like to say we provide agents their business in a box, but I'm going to start changing that. We provide agents with a fighter jet because everybody, business in a box, okay, you think you can just pull things out of the box and use it. But if I were to give you, Matt, a fighter jet and said, here you go ahead, fly it whenever you want. This is your jet. You'd be like, how do I use this?
Right.
How do I even turn the thing on? How do I get in?
Get it up off the ground.
Yeah. I don't know how to use this. Thank you. But how do I use this? And so we provide our agents with the suite of tools that are very easy to use. But if you don't know how to use them, and if you're not trained on the different techniques and tactics that we have, then, it's just going to sit in the hangar. So anyways, so that is the number one reason why buyers lose out on their offers is trust. That's the number one reason why sellers leave money on the table is trust. How many times, Val, have we said, hey, this is what the appraiser said the house is worth. This is what the comps show the house is worth. But the sellers are like, thank you for your input, but we're going to list it for 10% more.
All the time.
All the time.
Yep.
And here's a fact in today's reality is that you cannot, it's very literal, like literally you cannot underprice a home. It is virtually impossible. With the advent of the internet, with the marketing that at least we do on the Made for More team, you cannot underprice a home. We've literally priced homes at 50% of what their retail value is, and we get them that value.
I think there's more to that topic. Let's discuss that a little bit more in the next segment, how you cannot underprice a home.
Absolutely.
Let's do that. You're listening to the Made for More Living show with Johnny Jennings and Valary Jennings. All right, so maybe you're listening to our conversation today and it's stirring some thoughts of you possibly selling your home, but you're thinking, man, I've got these home improvement projects that have to be done before my home is ready to be put on the market. Here's some good news. Johnny Jennings, the host of this show, and his team over at the Tom Daves Real Estate team, they have this program to help you get those home improvement projects done, even if you don't have the time or the money. So all you got to do is go to tomdaves.com, type in your address, and bam, you'll get all that information. TomDaves.com, or you can call 855-TOM-DAVES.